Oh wait, real quick question.
There's no wait,
We
real
had
quick.
that-
We're streaming. What do you want?
I'm sorry. We had like that, one shot the other day. Do we, for the people who were there for that, do we like reset everything? Because I was using D&D Beyond the Track stuff and like my spell allocations
It
and
is
hit
100%
points.
fine because this session, unless you completely and totally fuck up, shouldn't have any battles, fights, anything like that, and you should be able to get fully rested.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. All right.
Cool.
Okay, so everybody's here, right?
Yes.
Fleos, your cam's off.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And I'm back.
And you're back. Okay.
I'm back.
All right.
I don't know what happened because I haven't played in over a month.
We killed your character, so
That's just not possible. It's too resistant.
fair. Okay. So when last we left off, properly playing the Devastations and not a pickup game of the Devastations, we'd killed some crystal monsters on a floating island after solving a puzzle that involved the movement of various rings from one monolith to another monolith to another monolith. And the crystal creatures had been destroyed. We just finished destroying them. And that's where we left off, right at that moment, where they'd been destroyed. Right? I'm not missing anything?
I think a lady came out of one of them.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yes. So, we'll kind of, even if it's slightly deviated from what happened last time, let me get some proper music going on. There we go. Like this.
Shit, I gotta go on roll 20, right?
Only if you want the music. So there's this burst of light as the last of the large crystalline monsters basically shatters, sending shards everywhere. And a woman is kneeling, breathing heavily, and she's the woman that you saw at the very beginning who was trapped in that large...
Sorry.
In that large stone monolith. So when you'd entered this clearing, this kind of temple, fallen temple structure, there had been this large crystal in the center, and a woman in the center of a pool, I think, if I recall, and a woman had been kind of just stuck inside the crystal. She wasn't moving, her eyes weren't moving. This gorgeous elf, and now you see her kneeling in front of you, and there's a like a luminescence to her very skin, and you can see protruding from either temple a very, very small gemstone on either side, kind of like little horns, if you will. And she kind of slowly looks up at all of you with these crystal clear blue eyes. You've done it. You shattered the demons and released me.
Yeah, it's what I guess we're doing these days. And you are?
I'm Salathathu, the queen of... And she looks around momentarily, and she kind of... Queen of what remains, I guess.
So you're the queen of all this mess everywhere?
Not this mess everywhere, just... I guess these islands that are... And she looks around, now floating? It's been so long. So very long.
So what is this place?
This
What was this place?
once was a great and powerful kingdom, but then that horrible wizard cast that curse of his. And I don't know. I was put inside of that crystal. She looks all about her at the broken bits and pieces.
Is that all you remember?
That that is honestly, I can kind of remember everything, but it's such a long time that all I remember doing is watching the clouds go by endlessly. And you can kind of see, looking off, because we're at a very high vantage point, you can see a bunch of the edges of the massive hurricane storm that you're all trapped within.
And how do you feel now?
Weak and angry. And where is everybody? Where are all of my subjects? And at that moment, a butterfly lands on her hand, and it's glowing ethereal. Samson, is that you? And its wings slowly open, close. Yes, I don't know who they are, but they helped. But why are you still a butterfly? And she looks at you all. Have you not killed the mage?
No.
We're working on it.
Oh, by now he knows you are here and will be ready.
Is there anything you can do to help us prepare?
You can... You... What? Samson? Yes. Well, just tell them. She looks at all of you. That's right, yes. Did you get all of that?
Got
I'm
none of
sorry, I
it.
don't speak butterfly.
None of you can hear Samson.
Nope.
We don't speak butterfly.
So what is the arrangement here in terms of people?
I think I would be like standing right in front of her if I broke the crystal monster. Last thing I did.
She walks over to you and she touches your forehead, and she's a tall, gorgeous elf. Very lithe, again, like almost this translucent clothing. But there's almost like a fading element to her essence, as if she's a little too transparent. Like you can just see through the edges of her skin almost to the other side. And not that you're seeing bone or flesh, it's just like, imagine a person had almost a haze about them when you looked at them. And she puts her fingers on your forehead, and they feel just so light, almost as if they were hollow like a flute, and frigid. Absolutely frigid. You get a chill up your spine. And you hear, I really don't believe they can hear me, madam. I think they are just a bunch of nitwits who managed to accidentally get here. And you're the only one who hears this so far.
Yeah, I would immediately be like, chances are we did get here accidentally. A storm knocked us here, but I think some of these people are slightly more capable than you give them credit for.
So the rest of you hear that as if Lucius is talking himself. Huh, well, that one can hear me, certainly. Good job, mistress. What
speak
exactly
butterfly
is
now?
he?
What
Was
is she speaking to?
What was that, Ragus?
I was just asking, does she speak butterfly? Does he speak butterfly, sorry?
Does who speak butterfly? Leos? Lucius?
Yeah, our fellow Lucius.
It would appear he does now.
I guess we're the people that are trying to save your kingdom.
You!
And
you little lot. You're the ones who are going to be saving our kingdom. Well, get me a sword and I'll do it myself. Oh.
I just pull out a dagger. I'm like, might be a little big for you.
Don't hurt her, man. What are you doing?
Samson, be polite. These are our friends. They released me. Clearly called you forth with the release of my energies. And then she has a moment and she kind of clutches at her chest, and you can see she almost like flickers in and out of existence, like boop, boop, boop. And she looks up and she says, I don't have much time. And she begins tracing her fingers in the air, and runes trail. And Elodin, you're kind of like, wait a second, I recognize and then there's a and just this burst of energy from the runes, and it kind of radiates like a as if the air were made of water and somebody just dropped a stone and they're all the ripples. And as they touch each of you, you go from hearing nothing to hearing, they just kind of look like a bunch of louts. I don't know, that one over there, he's got a really long beard and he's tiny and a little bit fat, maybe stout, I can't really tell. And the
You're
wizard...
a fucking butterfly. Who are you calling tiny?
What? Huh. And I guess they can hear me.
Yeah.
Maybe the wizard can't, though. I mean, look at that beard. It's pasted on practically.
Eladin stays completely silent and just like looks away.
See? He can't hear me. You'd think that the one with the magic flowing from his veins would be able to do something about this. He couldn't even figure out how to talk to me if he wanted to.
Anybody has a lizard around here? I hear they like to eat insects.
Master Dwarf, I would mind your tongue. Back in my day, I was the leader of the Queen's Guard, and I was very adept with edged weapons, of which I still am.
And now you're a fucking butterfly.
Only momentarily. It is a slight setback.
Oi, and we're the people that are gonna get you back to normal, so how about you treat us with a little bit more respect as well?
Well then, chop chop. I hear there's a wizard to be killed, and you all seem like you should probably be the ones to do it for now, I guess.
Oh, you don't want a little butterfly sword?
So you can hear me! Okay, that's enough, Samson. That's enough.
Well, but backing up, do you have any advice on killing this evil mage?
And she kind of flashes in and out of existence again and goes, and she looks at all of you and she says, well, you have the Stone of Fire and the Stone of Death.
I presume it's the Stone of Air.
That's right. And that should be all you need to defeat the wizard. Everybody's like, wait a second. Andrew, change
Fast forward.
Yes. That should be all you need to defeat the wizard. That and your wits. But you'll need to know where he is and how to find him. If you just sail your ship, where is your ship? She looks around through the sky. Where is your sky ship?
We came in just a normal water ship. It's down that way. That one's the captain.
What's up here?
Oh, well, in that case, you can't sail across the sea to the middle of the storm and challenge the mage. He'll destroy you before you even get to him.
So do
Do
you
you
have
have
a flying boat?
Do I have a flying boat? I have a whole... And she looks around. She says, where did they go to? And the little butterfly's wings kind of like go, my queen, they might have been turned into flying slugs, and they might have been eaten by the flying birds, and those might have been eaten by the dragon.
Hold up.
Dragon, you
What
said?
about the dragon?
The dragon comes by every now and again in search of food, but it's a harmless, ice-breathing creature.
How long ago was the last time it was here?
About a month, I believe.
Does he have a regular schedule? Or
Yes, he
does
should
just
be
sort of
here,
pop in?
and he should be here, and the wings kind of... Oh, I guess he should be here any time now, actually. Okay, Samson.
Great.
And that's enough with the dragons. Tell them where they need to go. And Samson's like, fine. Well, what you must really do if you want to avoid the wizard's gaze is find another way to the center of the storm. Samson, that is very helpful, truly. And she puts Samson on her shoulder, and she looks at all of you, and she says, I don't have much time. I can feel my tether to this plane just beginning to wither. Someone will need to pick up the burden of these shards. And when you reunite them, you will have the power you need to face the wizard. Though you will still need to summon all the strength, heart, courage, and capacity that you all have through this friendship that you've kindled with one another.
I chuckle at the word friendship.
Yeah, I sort of side-eye the dwarf.
Eladin takes a step forward and looks at her right now and says, I'll take it.
He's taking a step over because I'm taking those stones.
Okay. I'm not going to fight you on it. That's cool.
Well, listen, we've seen what they've done to a couple people. If anything happens to me, I'm replaceable. You're the one with all the magic, and we need our wizard to fight the other wizard.
I
Shit, I don't even know how to sail.
Before I give you this burden,
Transition.
you must know that these shards, they will grow more powerful the longer you have them. And they will
Sweet.
make you a target of the wizard's wrath.
So
For
wait,
now,
if we're going to be a target, why don't we just keep them? And why do we need to go to the center? The wizard will just come fight us.
no, he would never leave his labyrinth-like tower. He'll just send his minions to destroy you. You must kill him to end the curse and free our lands and our people.
Did you say labyrinth?
Labyrinth-like tower.
Who were your people?
Well, we were elves. But now, we are... She kind of gestures around the trees and the soil, and he picks up Samson. Insects.
Okay.
There's one thing I must do before I can give this burden to you. And she touches your shoulder gently. Lucius, since apparently you will be the bearer of the shards. There's one thing I must do. Come, we must walk to the edge of the island. Together.
Okay. This ain't my first rodeo.
So she brings you, as a group, brings you over to the edge where your ship is. And she appears down, like, kind of holding onto a tree. And I mean, it almost looks like she could blow away at this point on the breeze. That is the vessel you sailed upon?
Hey, don't knock her. She's gotten us this far.
That's an ancient pirate vessel, if ever I did see one. Ancient even for my time.
Well, we're
still
working with
works.
what we got.
This will do. This will do right. And she draws a few more runes in the air, kind of scribbling them, and you see them begin to scrawl along the side of the ship in blue light, and then vanish gently. And a bridge of water extends from the bow of the vessel into the gaping maw that is beneath the island chain. And more importantly, it kind of goes from level with the water to descending. And you see it kind of turn and twist and then hit into the side of the maw, and the side of the maw opens up into a tunnel beneath the ocean. And then she kind of grasps you, Lucius, and almost falls over. And you can see she all of a sudden she looks older, more drained, and far more transparent. Almost like if you held a piece of paper up to the light, you know how you can kind of just see through it and see shadows through it? You see shadows of what's behind her through her.
Your Highness, you're not looking too odd. Maybe you should take a step back from the edge here.
I don't have much time, and there's so much you must know. Thanadul Dinkar. Thanadul Dinkar is no human. No elf. No dwarf. No halfling. He's not a creature of this realm. He's something darker. In your tongue, he would be called a beholder. He will not come at you directly, but from different angles. You must be prepared. The center of the storm will be 2 days' journey from here through the tunnels beneath the ocean. You will need to take that time to prepare yourselves for what is to come. And what is to come is unlike anything you've seen before. Samson, you've been to this city, have you not? Yes, mistress, of course. Of course I've been to this. It's changed much since our time, but but I have flown there before. Then you will be their guide on this journey. But, mistress, do I have to? It seems like they have it in their very capable hands. Samson, this is the last. Yes, mistress. I will do as you say. And he kind of hops from his shoulder and hovers, and he says, you, or you. And he goes to kind of settle on Eladin's shoulder, and the beard actually whips through the air and kind of smacks into him. He's like, okay, fine, I see. One magical creature in per area, alright, fine, fine. Well, not the dwarf, he seems too belligerent. And he lands on Fleos' shoulder. Maybe this one will suffice. Shared secrets and all.
What is that supposed to mean, shared secrets?
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I can't do any of those things anymore. He just kind of moves his wings more fervently. All right, Samson, you found your compatriot to bond with. Yes, mistress, I have. Make it so. Fine. And there's a burst of energy from him as he kind of grows a little more, and then kind of begins changing and shifting, and his shape is morphing. And Fleos, there's a weird moment for you. You've changed shape before. You've taken new forms. You've encountered this and experienced it. But what you've never encountered and experienced before is your normal form kind of rearranging itself without turning into another form. You feel your bones kind of change a little bit, and you kind of take in a deep breath, and you feel like you're almost like a little light, and 2 wings sprout from your shoulder blades. Butterfly wings. And the butterfly kind of hovers near you, and he's like, that's better. And he kind of settles onto you. And as he settles, a tattoo of a butterfly spreads on your neck, and he vanishes. He's like, all right, so you are my new best friend.
So now, alongside all of the other tattoos that I have across my body, there is a tattoo of a butterfly somewhere between a shark and a mahi-mahi.
That sounds about right, yeah.
All right.
And
these
you have wings.
Butterfly wings have ruined my undershirt.
Yeah, they ripped through.
My vest.
They ripped through.
And my robe and my traveling cloak.
Yes, but you have scale. Are you wearing your scale armor? Your dragon scale armor?
No. Not yet.
Okay. Well, while all these things have been ripped through, if you did put your dragon scale armor on, because it is magical, it will adapt to your form.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
Currently, I'm wearing the undead armor.
Okay.
Nice. What
Lucius,
color are his wings?
Oh, they change. So if you've ever seen like the the multi-chromatic paint where like you kind of look at it at a different angle, it changes a little bit. So it goes kind of from this like azure blue to teal to a very robust green. It's very similar to a peacock's feather.
I dig it.
And they glow just tiniest hint. And there's like this little sensation as if little bits of fairy dust were just descending from them and evaporating. They clearly have something magical to them.
Well, right, yes.
Obviously.
You know, aside from the fact that they are
Magically sprouted from your shoulder?
sprouted from my back, yes.
Oh, okay. So Lucius...
Fleos progresses from what to shocked silence to resignation.
It is a good color on you.
There. That's fair.
Everything else that Fleos owns is some shade of wine to blue. Completely wrong color scheme.
It's all good. It's all good. You'll have time to adapt. 2 days before you get to where you're going. All right. I think my time on this world is drawn to an end. And she kind of drapes herself over you, Lucius, and you can feel like she's getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And she says, "Do you accept this burden willingly?"
I do. Is there anything else you need from me before you go?
Just promise me you'll take care of Samson. You'll destroy Thanatul Zedekar.
You got it.
She presses her hands to your temples, and there's a moment where she just weighs nothing. And then she kind of just blows away as if she were glowing dust. And raging pain sears through your skull. It's the worst migraine you've ever had. Your eyes, you can't even open them. It's like light has become blinding, and you just feel the skull bone changing, and everybody else sees these two glowing topaz gemstones just erupt from his temples, turning into these horns. And whereas hers had kind of been a little bit dainty, yours end up protruding even more, curling up almost like devil horns. And there's a little bit of blood, a little bit of skin flaking off, and it's just searing pain, and then it begins to subside.
Welcome to the Horden Club.
Dimitri, do you got anything for this fucking headache?
Yeah. I just hand you a bottle of ale.
Just fucking slam it like Stone Cold style and throw half of it.
Fleos
More importantly,
starts
I'm just
to walk over
looking
to Lucius.
at you, and I'm like, okay, this is the. Why do you have two?
I don't know.
This is unusual. Are we establishing a new pattern here? Because
I think
we've
it was just
certainly
like
broken the
the
old.
I have no idea what the fuck's going on other than the fact that I have horns now and my skull is on fire. And we're
Welcome
going
to the
under.
club.
And I point over Fleos and I'm not allowed to let you die by proxy.
Hey, Lucius, thanks for doing that, man. That looks like something I didn't want to do.
I mean, you already got the cool beard, so I didn't think it was fair that you get the horns too. Just start vomiting off to the side real quick.
Yeah, like, go from you. He like misty steps away from you as soon as that starts happening. He's just gone. You're gonna be okay. Like pat his back or something.
Let's just get the fuck out of here. So Samson,
How?
Yeah.
Samson.
Yes.
All right. So apparently, I'm not supposed to let you die, and you're supposed to show us where we're going.
That's right. I can't believe she's gone. So I guess first order of business is heading down from here. The rest of you don't look like you have wings.
That is an astute observation.
Ha! But my new best friend here, totally fine.
What?
And Fleos, your wings start like flapping.
Am I controlling them?
Oh hell no!
No, I didn't think so. So,
Your feet
This is
lift off the
again-
ground.
this is again distressing. And Fleos... Hold on, actually.
Just to be clear, the wings are flapping and they glow a little bit more, and a little bit more fairy dust kind of falls to the ground.
Right.
And you see
this
a
is
bunch
just
of like
precious.
flowers sprout up from where the dust touches.
Yeah. Fleos
former-
looks around himself and sighs heavily and just looks forwards as he begins to fly in whatever direction.
Yes. It begins bringing you towards the ship, basically. So you... Come on, everybody, keep up!
Well, I suppose we'll see you
Alright.
down there.
Fleo,
Hold on. I like chase after him just a little bit with like an empty vial, trying to capture some of that pixie dust. Be like, I need to see what type of rejuvenative properties this has.
a true medicine man.
Is true.
Fleos will. In response, Fleos will say, "Oh, I'm sure we'll be able to shake plenty of it out of my now ruined clothing later on. Let's get to the ship somehow first." But
Dimitri, just
his
so you
voice
know...
is receding as that happens because he is being dragged far away from you. Figure out how to fly.
Dimitri, just so you know, that like you look at your vial and it's now empty. Basically what happens is like it has a very short half-life. And
Yeah.
it's like you're looking and you're like, I think this is moving between planes of existence.
Ooh.
I mean, those
Swanky.
wings that Leos has are too small. Like they're still reasonably sized wings, but they're too small to clearly move something of his stature.
Yeah, his body weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So-
not like he's got like, a 15-foot wingspan for his, I assume roughly 6-foot body.
Right.
Gotcha.
So, are we supposed to just grab onto your ankles, Fleos?
He's out of earshot, I think, at this point.
Oh no.
Poor guy. Yeah, we should find a way back.
Well, where's the? Can I see the boat? Like, is it
Yeah.
in
I don't know
a
how to
trajectory to us?
Yeah, you can see it. I forget how high I said this was up.
Or how to change planes for that matter.
Hey, Eladin, can you do that thing where we don't plummet to our death?
Fine. And I push you off and cast Featherfall at the same time.
I don't even
Do
struggle. I
five,
just
three.
kind of like tear over, just start going.
I'm like one of those guys in the paratrooper plane, like go, 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 like slapping people as they go and letting them jump off.
Oh, I like make sure I go around your arm as you're trying to slap people. I'm like, don't push me.
But no, you want to get touched by me.
Well.
It's not
Don't
often he
slap
gets to
me.
say that.
I never want to get touched by you.
Wow.
I do one of those like go to tap you, Ragus, and run my hands through my hair, but then tap you at the last second before you go overboard and die.
I mean, in fairness, my hands have been, patching you up and all over your body as well, so it's fair.
So I think that gets us all down there safely because that's
Okay.
that's
The team tumbles through the air, falling slowly, aiming for the ship. I think I'm gonna make you all roll for this, though.
What's a flying roll constitute here?
Dexterity save, I think, will be reasonable.
Okay. We are
Leos again is down at the boat, preparing it for everyone else because that's what he does, because he gets to the boat first.
If I did my jump very athletically, can I use athletics?
No. It's a
Natural 20.
Very low DC. Yeah, so Dimitri, like, runs and is like, haha! And
That was
lands,
some sick gainers and shit.
yeah, you land no problem on the deck. Squarely, like, with a nice squat, and you're like,
Oh, good, you're here.
Yes, how
Go,
can I be of
and I
assistance?
give you some instructions.
I fill them out promptly.
I rolled 16.
16, you're fine. So Ragus, tumbles through the air, and he's like, never throw it dwarf, but lands fine.
14.
Also good.
I would roll a 7.
Okay. What did Isilme roll?
Unnatural 20.
Isilme, like, tumbles forward back to standing. Eladin, my friend.
So
My dear, dear friend. I'm gonna
Well,
I'm gonna
Sure.
roll for your beard.
Well,
Oh boy.
falling way too fast, I would reactively cast another spell.
Oh, it's not about falling too fast. It's about whether you fall correctly towards the ship or the gaping maw.
Well, like if I'm off target, I will cast the spell.
You don't have to, because as you're falling, you're like, oh, the boat's over there. It's over there. It's over there. And your beard just kind of like covers your eyes momentarily, and you feel a gust of air, and your beard then whips to the other side, and the wind blows you back on target.
Hey, that's
Nice.
cool.
And then you land and kind of like stumble a little bit forward. And the beard like literally goes like this.
I like look to Dimitri and Lucius to hold, and I like quick scribble 10 out of 10 and hand them pieces of paper. I'm like, hold this up. And then
I give you 2.
I am immediately busy with whatever assignment I've just been given. I'm like, what? What is this? Throw it off. Doesn't
you
help.
hold it up and then clap. Damn it.
I'm sorry, buddy.
You never get a 10 from the Russian judge. I'll go over to Fleos, and is his wings still out, or are they retracted?
I mean, he still has wings. They're just
Oh,
you know,
they're
like
just there.
they're like, you know, it's exactly like a butterfly. So butterflies, you know, when they're landed, they're folded for the most part, but then sometimes they'll be open for a little while, and they have that like little flutter. So every now and again, his wings flutter. Is what I'm trying to say.
Are they getting in the way of me doing
No,
my job?
It's like they're smart. So like if you move through like a small space, they quickly close. If they're gonna get hit, they quickly like kind of rotate. They're not like a static fixture. They very much live on their own, and you don't even feel off balance. In fact, you feel like if you were to tumble or fall, you would have more balance than you normally would.
Okay.
Go on, Fleos. I have a feeling me and you are going to stand out if we ever get out of this.
I mean,
Yes, well. And he just continues walking past to the other side of the ship because something needs to be unfurled or battened.
Good talk. Good talk.
I mean, in fairness, you're not the only one with horns sticking out of your head right now.
Guess. So yes, you're back on your ship. My expectation is that all. I know it's actually been a long time since we've all been together. So.
Samson, tell
Yes.
us how we are supposed to sail this manner of vessel into a hole in the middle of the ocean. I've sailed a lot of places before. I've not done that.
Well, I would definitely tell you if I was a sailor, which maybe you haven't noticed, but I am not. So, I think that one might be for you to figure out.
Ah, fantastic. I'm so glad we're blessed with your guidance.
Yes, I know, it is rather,
Fleos walks away.
but I'm still right here. He's walked away.
Fleos walks away to talk to the captain.
You know, your other tattoos keep talking to me, and it's really distracting.
Good. I hope that they sound frightful.
I think before this is over, we'll all get along perfectly.
So, Captain, I'm holding up like the length of cord I've been practicing the knot on. What do you want us to do?
Well, it's still a ship. So how hard could it be? I'll just kind of turn to Fleos. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I have heard certain things about how pirate ships are run, but in the Crotean Navy, generally we don't sail downwards. We sail forwards. We sail sometimes to the side. Occasionally, even, we sail backwards. Although that's more of a trick for amusing people, royalty mostly. They love it. I've never sailed down, though. So if you do have any idea... Actually, college boy!
Yes. That is I.
How does one sail a ship downwards?
Doesn't gravity do the work?
Yeah, you just move it in that direction.
Right,
Like,
but how does one do it safely? It's not sailing if you just fall.
Well, he might be like, we just fell onto the boat. Why can't he do the same thing to the fucking boat?
I actually don't know the answer to that. I've never tried to do anything that's not a person.
Could you try it now?
I definitely can, but I'm fairly certain our neutral god will not let us. Will not be overly content with that decision.
As this is going on, I'm gonna walk to the side of the vessel that is closest to the maw, and I want to see if the current is going like straight down, or if it's like going like whirlpool style. You know what I mean?
So, are you saying just on this water bridge that's formed? Is that what you're saying?
Like, isn't a big gaping hole next to us?
Big gaping hole, and the water literally goes down like that.
So it goes like straight
a
down.
waterfall.
Yeah, like a waterfall. It is.
Okay.
It is a gaping maw. But then remember, you can kind of see across to the other side, and the water's going the inverse.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean you'd survive the fall, obviously. Now, the water bridge has a flow to it. It's like a river etched through the air.
So let's get the fucking bridge.
But it clearly has no sides to retain you. And, the water's falling off all the sides.
We have a good captain, right? He can keep us safe.
He can keep us on the straight and narrow.
Aye. I'll even volunteer to yell. I think I'm the loudest motherfucker in here. I'll just stand in the front and let you know if you gotta go left or right.
Fair
We
enough.
each help in our own special ways.
Corey is totally fine with admitting that he did not hear that there was a water bridge.
It's okay. I missed that too.
All right, so I will. I guess, Captain, that we should try the water bridge. How far out does the water bridge go? The whole way across, or to the center?
Yes, but it's like twisting and turning. It's not straight.
Right. So, but it goes the whole way across, or to the center?
It goes across, kind of turning and snaking, and then hits into the side, like several hundred feet below. And there's a cavern, like a water tunnel that it goes into.
Well, that
Does it look like the current is really fast or no?
Yeah.
And Andrew, I want to try something.
Oh boy.
I shoot a ray of frost into the water outside the boat, and what I'm trying to gauge is like how much I can freeze the water around the boat.
It forms like a pretty big chunk of ice, and then that just kind of goes with the flow and kind of goes on the water bridge for a second before shooting off of it and going into the maw.
So
Is there a
I'm
way that we
Captain.
could have measured the speed at which it did that?
Wait, Captain, have you
Fast.
ever managed to put a boat through a river? A really tight, windy, fast river with a gaping hole on the sides?
I don't know, DM, have I ever done that?
No.
Well, not with a gaping hole, but like, have you ever gone through a river?
You've been on a river before, but usually it would be like you've been on wide river. Even if they're
A
fast
river
moving.
with holes in it?
Yeah, definitely no holes. Definitely no holes.
Yeah,
in the river.
we've certainly, both of us have certainly sailed inland before. Yes,
Wait,
but
so
by
isn't
definition,
that fucking different, right? I mean, when you're in inland and you're going through a river,
by
you
definition, a river is surrounded by land.
Aye, but you still don't want to wreck your ship, did you? Did you wreck your ship when you were in the river? I imagine you didn't. So if you managed to not hit the sides of the fucking river, why would you want to hit the sides on this fucking gaping hole?
Well, we wouldn't want to. That's why we've asked everyone to prepare the ship for this particular type of journey.
Aye. All I'm saying is, like, I believe in you fellas. Just, I'll yell.
So, I have two thoughts. Andrew, how strong would somebody have to be to pull a ship like this?
To pull it?
Yeah. Like, what? There were two giant sharks, each with strength of 23.
No, not good enough.
Okay.
Give or take.
Yeah, just
say.
a rough hypothetical.
Yeah, rough
Okay.
hypothetical. Probably not enough. Sorry.
Okay.
Also, them swimming on the bridge would be very challenging.
Just checking. So my thought, fellas, is I've been investing my spare time here in learning, I'll say, storm magic, for lack of a better term. And part of that allows me to have minor control over winds and such. So I was thinking we let the captain take a crack at steering the ship along a bridge, and if something goes wrong, I can give us little puffs of wind or throw ice to kind of knock us back on course. What do you think?
Sounds as good a plan as any.
So,
Why not? Go for it.
Andrew, what I'm leveraging here is storm sorcerers get something called tempestuous magic, and every time I cast a spell, I get like a little gust of wind that happens around me.
I'm gonna go with that's probably not enough. What I'm gonna allow you to do is an Arcana check.
Yeah, that works too. +9, so let's see how low I can. That's a 14.
That's not bad. You kind of are sitting there and you're like, man, if only I had a ritual. Hey. I wonder if I could ritualistically cast something like this. Be something more powerful than I would otherwise.
So,
And you kind of just keep eyeing Lucius's gorgeous protrusions.
so do I remember the runes that Molly wrote down on the air at all?
Give me a straight up intelligence check.
Unnatural 20.
Excellent. Yeah, you do.
Would I have any idea what they do?
Sure. You
Which-
you recognize that some of them were invoking lesser water gods, or what the archaic elves would classify as lesser water gods. What you now recognize as extraplanar entities that have significant natural forces associated with them. And then other ones were invoking wind entities, and they were binding them together, and that is somewhat how the structure of the bridge was formed. That with something that you recognize as a magic taking energy, like almost like a white hole, like a black hole and a white hole. So it's shifting energy from some source to some other sink, and it looks very localized. Like you're not talking about another plane of existence. You're not talking about someplace far off. So there was some source nearby that she used to power this magic.
I immediately walk up to Lucius and I just say, "Stay still," and I touch one of his horns with one hand.
Your beard kind of like puffs up.
Like a static kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's you don't feel static, but your beard clearly like
Feel something. And with the hand that's not holding Lucius by the horns, I try and draw one of the water runes to try and modify the river at least a little bit. See if I can move it.
it kind of like you see it shiver a little bit and kind of like, and you feel like you can do it. It's going to take a little bit of time though.
Time as in, like, time for me to figure it out, or
Ritual casting, so it's going to take...
10 minutes? Yeah.
While he's grabbing my
ritual
horn,
casting means at least 10 minutes. You think it'll probably take more like 30.
Lucius, what do you know of runes?
I know that if you keep grabbing my horns, me and you're gonna need one. Oh, runes. It's magic.
Hi.
I guess the horns are getting in the way of your hearing, good man.
It's new for both of us. I don't know. I'm guessing some shit happens with these because something happens with.
You can do magic, right?
Yeah.
Like, not like me, obviously, but like how a child would do magic. And
I guess.
Ellen takes out a spellbook and, like, crudely draws one of the runes and tells you, like, try to draw this.
So I'll sit there, like, gaze over it and try to recreate the rune and do the same thing he was doing, like trying to like channel these horns into doing, like, manipulating the water.
My thought process is, like, he's much more intact with that level of magic than me at this point.
Yeah, so you begin trying to focus on it, and if you can, it just eludes you just a touch.
Together then, in ritual form.
All right, grab a horn.
By the horns. And so I set up, like, I draw a little circle out. I put a rune in each, like, cardinal direction. I put, like, a glass of water in the center, and I start, like, ritual casting, or ritual writing the runes and trying to activate them in a sequence that will hopefully get a better path.
So you take your finger and you start kind of moving your wrist through the air, as you've done so many times with so many other elemental forces, and you are moving and trying to feel that ethereal connection, and it begins pulling out. And so runes begin forming, but then they collapse, and they form and collapse and form and collapse, and then you get one rune to stay, and you move on to the next one, and then they collapse, and you work through this, and it takes some time, but finally you get out the full coherent formula. And at the same time, the river that's flowing, the river bridge, it's kind of moving side to side. The twists are adjusting, and sometimes it falls apart in areas and then comes back. And then finally, beads of sweat working down your face, your beard literally like, napkining. And Lucius's horns glowing. And Lucius, you're feeling exhausted. You're feeling absolutely drained. In fact, you get a point of fatigue. And the river straightens out, and it becomes just a ramp.
Can I also just make a note of that rune sequence now that I got it right?
Sure.
Put it in my book.
Andrew, while he was casting that, I'm just having an eternal dialogue with whatever seems to be infusing me with power. And, like, not trying to do the, like, book smart type spell casting, but, like, the inner, like, you know, I'm trying to manipulate these horns to make an effect.
Yeah, it feels almost like a foreign body. Like you can sense them just a touch, and through the process, you almost could feel them a little bit more. But it's like when you first get braces or something like that. You know, you have that sensation of something being there, but it's so alien. But through this process, it's felt a little bit more normal, but still, it's like you keep touching it. Like, you know, it's so foreign to you.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Cool. Shall we go?
Captain,
Say the word.
yes, is that acceptable for you?
Man, I don't think we can get any straighter than that. What are we waiting for?
Captain, Fleos, anybody?
Look, fellas, I'll steer the
Um,
ship, but I can't fucking reach the top of the whatever the hell you call that wheel.
and I don't know how useful I'm going to be in this either. So I go over to SLMA and Fleos, and I feel like you're going to have to do the lion's share of the work. And I just pat him on the shoulder, and I'll give them each inspiration. You have a D8.
Lucius, why don't you go rest? That probably took a lot out of you. I haven't used a live magical focus in a very long time.
I'll stick it out until we get through this, and then I might have to succumb to the fatigue.
You're strong.
I look at Lucius and Aladdin and say, Aladdin, I think if you go rest with him, he'll be more willing.
I think you guys might need me up top. But
Maybe I'll need you up top and give you a little pat on the ass.
I giggle.
This is all fantastic and all. Ragus,
There we go.
would you mind climbing into the barrel? And I point up the crow's nest.
Wait, who you're asking to go on the barrel?
Ragus,
Me.
you're gonna be our spotter, right?
Boy, I can climb up there. I'm like too short. I'm not gonna see over. I was just gonna stand in the front.
Well, right, but I need you to see the sides and the stern as well.
Fine, I'll try. But actually, before I try, I'm gonna look up and try to judge if I'm taller than the crow's nest.
Yeah, you're good. It's more of a platform
Okay.
than a barrel.
Okay,
Right.
good.
He was
Ragus,
just
this
using
isn't
like
the
a
first time.
colloquial.
Fine. Then I'll go.
Ragus, this ain't the first time you climbed into a barrel.
Yeah, usually there's beverage inside and I drink it.
Lucius, I'm going to need you to stand over on the left side of the boat, please. Just wait for
The
wait for-
left side. Good sailors speak there.
I was
I
gonna
think he
say
was
forward,
deliberately talking down to him.
and then I decided to explain to Lucius that it was the left side of the boat.
That side.
Yeah, that's why I paused.
You got it. I'm making my way over to the port side.
I give him a wan smile and a thumbs up for remembering that it's the port side of the boat.
Wait, as I hear that and I guess I'm on the way up climbing, I look at them. Wait, what's left and what's right?
You just say left and right.
Oh, okay, good. Which way should I be looking forward? What, right?
Mostly you're gonna look forwards. Occasionally look over your shoulder.
I hope they improve by the time we get to. I have to change this accent because he sounded too much like all my other wizards. I hope they improve by the time we get to Umphir.
I hope we improve every single day. It's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
Oh dear.
Dimitri, would you be so kind as to go to the starboard railing?
You got it, man. I go over that way.
Wait, starboard right or left again?
Right.
My right or your right?
Ship right.
Just like at the stern and just like smacking her head against it repeatedly.
Fleos mouthlessly whispers to the captain, "Well, you and I may not have always gotten along, but it was nice knowing you."
What do you mean? You think this is gonna go wrong? I have
No,
all
no, no.
the faith
Wordlessly.
possible.
Wordlessly.
What makes you think he can't read your thoughts?
No, I'm sure he can read my thoughts.
Sometimes
Eladin.
he's only speaking to you. Sometimes everybody can hear him.
Oh, great. Just like Tyler. Eladin, come help me hoist our disconnect some of and hoist the rest of our makeshift anchors, plural.
My good man, you really are choosing the wrong people for this job.
Do you want to go? You want to go sit up in the crow's nest then?
Oh, that sounds much better.
Well, talk to Ragus, and if you convince him to switch with you, then fine. I'm gonna go get started doing this thing.
How far up am I? And I don't know. Am I hearing this?
What kind of boat is this again? What kind of ship is this again?
I don't remember. I don't remember. Let me check my. I have a database of boats. Maybe it's in there.
Is it a caravel?
So.
Probably caravel, or is it a sloop of some type?
A swoop or a swooner or something.
Oh,
thought
it's a
it was a
schooner.
sloop.
It's a schooner, maybe.
Schooner.
It's a schooner.
So you're like 30 feet up.
40
Yeah, that's-
10 feet. So let me do a conversion.
Anyone remember what the ship's name? Did we give the ship a name?
It's a sloop of war, and I called it the Obsidian Charger because no one else said anything.
That works for me. Says the guy with the obsidian horn sticking out of his head.
All right. So is Aladdin trying to convince me to go?
Yeah.
swap?
Why don't you come down here? I need your muscles, and I don't want to lift things.
Are you fucking kidding me? Now
No.
you decide to tell me I'm like halfway through this fucking thing?
I'll feather fall you if you want to just jump off.
Is there a rope around there I can just slide down quickly?
Yes.
Okay. I'll try that while yelling at him like, you motherfucker. Under my breath.
Hey, if you want me to man all the sails and lift the anchors, you're just
Next
gonna.
time just fucking say before I start climbing, you dickwad.
Athletics check.
Yes. Yes. Nice. Finally I get to use my athletics. I did a 22.
Yeah, you kind of.
Cool. So what the fuck do I have to lift up?
I don't know. Talk to Fleos, and then I go up.
I go find Fleos and start
Fleos.
lifting things up.
Fleos, of course, says two things. We're going to have to start lifting up the anchors, and we're going to have to do this in a very quick fashion so as not to ruin ourselves when we try to make our way over to this magical floating sky river.
Yeah. How many anchors did we have?
8? 10?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. We
jerry rigged something.
we set up a whole bunch of them that we
Okay.
tied ballast stones to.
Well, I'm
So-
gonna try to see if I can grab 2 at a time with my extraordinary strength and try to lift 2 at a time. I'm gonna try to do that
Right.
just to go faster.
Yeah.
Advantaged athletics check.
You're so strong, bro. You got this.
27.
Yeah, basically you're just like, and you start pulling, and as he's pulling, you see his skin just begin taking on the tiniest tinge of red, and his veins kind of protruding with fiery color inside of them, and his steam just bellows from them and goes, and he just pulls everything up in a way that you never thought a creature of his stature could.
That's not concerning at all.
So yes, all the anchors have been returned to the ship.
Which means we're moving, right?
Yeah, you begin moving. So what I need is the captain, whom I'm assuming is steering, to make a handle vessel check.
Okay. Let me double check. So for me, that's just my water vehicle proficiency.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Hold on, getting dice. $22.
22. All right. The vessel starts off correct. You bring it into alignment with the ramp of water, and you begin descending. And as it kind of goes closer and closer towards the edge, you can feel the pull, like a lusty lover of the ocean and the maw and the river, and the ship begins accelerating. And you can feel also that it's trying to veer off to either side just because the pull is so fast. And for the rest of you, it's kind of like there's a moment as you know, the bow teeters over the edge and then whoop, down the luge. No reactions. Everybody's like, yeah, another day.
I mean, I'm quietly praying to Cindrel that, like, we make it through this other fucking thing going on that is going to fucking kill us.
And I'm just holding on real tight and gritting my teeth and hoping I do the thing.
Fleos is yelling instructions based on what he can see of the situation and also what information is being relayed to him from Ragus.
All right, Ragus, not Ragus, from Eladin, you mean?
Yeah.
From Eladin.
All right, Eladin, give me a perception check.
Alright. See if I roll better than I have today. That is that's an 8.
Looks good, buddy.
We're all good.
All right.
I don't know if I trust it.
Don't metagame. I don't know if I trust him. He rolled a 9 or an 8 or something.
Ragus, you never
Eladin.
trust the college boy.
I don't ever trust him.
Would be suspicious of Eladin. I think that's an established thing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, give me another handle vessel check.
Why didn't I just leave with this? Sorry.
Oh, and I'm gonna go hang out in the front of the ship, whatever the name is.
Lucia's still good? Can I add that?
I think so.
Lucius.
Yeah,
you
it's
do.
still good.
18.
Yeah.
Yes, 18. So you're bringing the vessel, and then there's almost like a bump, like a where the ship rises up and then goes back down. Clearly, there was a rough patch of water there that nobody told you about, and you can feel the ship kind of shiver, and you hear. And Eladin, you're up in the rigging in the mast, and you can hear it much louder there. In fact, it's almost a little too loud, and you hear as a bunch of ropes snap. Give me a deck save.
There's no way I can react cast mending, right? Like that's not a thing.
Mending is touch and takes a minute.
Oh well, then yeah, absolutely not. That's a 13 on that deck save.
Yeah. So I'm only gonna make you take half damage. Totally fine. That's fine. You take 2 points of damage as the ropes kind of whip across you, but they knock you.
Dead.
They knock you over, and you end up hanging from the crow's nest. Your legs in free fall.
Am I hanging over the boat or over the water or over the mall?
You're hanging over the boat, but with its momentum, there's a good chance that you'd be thrown off into the maw.
Fleos,
All right.
noticing
Your beard literally curls up like this.
Fleos,
I'm fine. I'm not worried.
noticing this mess, makes eye contact with the captain, sort of to say, hey, I'm going to be out of post for a second, so I apologize. Is going to call out to Ragus and Dimitri as the more experienced ship folk and point at several places where those snap lines can have backups and those can be secured, and is going to issue a couple of orders for stabilizing everything as a result of those snapped lines, and is going to start climbing up to drag the college boy back into the barrel that he's supposed to sit in, not dangle from.
If I see Fleo start climbing up and noticing that there's snap lines, the only thing I've ever been trained to do on the ship is to tie knots. So I'm going up and going to try to like make the quick repairs.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I don't see this happen. Even with my ridiculous passive perception, I'm too focused on Eladin right now,
Okay.
and I'm ticked off that I have to fix Eladin instead of steering this boat through something that could get all of us killed,
All right. So
or helping guide it.
Ragus and Dimitri perception checks.
Yeah.
Where am I? 19,
Ooh.
which is my passive.
Wait, no, I didn't. Oh, it's just. But you rolled 19.
Yeah, but I rolled 19.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, mine's 14 total.
14. Okay. Dimitri, you're like, what is that? And there's a chunk missing from the river. Like there's only there's half of the amount of space is normal for about a span of 10 feet. And it's like 50 yards ahead.
Captain, there is a very narrow funnel coming up. We are getting, blocked out.
And you have to move to the left if you want to stay on the water.
Yeah, move to the left. Move to the port side. Port side.
All right, another vessel check from our illustrious captain.
Okay, I'm out of extra things to add, so hopefully we'll have...
I'm looking at Eladin. It's like he had one fucking job.
Is it still advantaged
26?
No, it's not advantage. What was that?
because everyone's helping her?
26. Straight roll.
26?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so you managed to veer it to the side and pull it back and go across the straight and narrow. But there's also another little bit of a lip and drop off into another shutter. And the main mast, the one that Eladin's on, shivers. And there's a whole bunch of sounds. And a crack runs straight through the middle of it. And it begins groaning. And normally there's a bunch of ropes that are tied around it to actually give it a bunch of reinforcements. Those begin shifting and cracking, and it just feels like it's not long for it to be attached to the ship.
Eladin sees and hears that, right?
Yeah.
That is obvious.
Are those the ropes? Those are the same ropes I just told them to
Secure, yeah.
secure, yes?
That and additional ropes, because there's
And-
ropes that can't be secured.
Yeah.
There's there's the bolster.
No,
ropes
yeah, I
and
know
stuff.
there's ropes
Yeah.
that can't be secured. Once I
And do I see it climbing up?
get back
Like,
down,
when I
I'll
see
have
them-
to throw more ropes over.
Yeah, well, you're going to need to throw ropes from the top and reattach them because they're just like all over the place. What was that, Lucius?
Do I see the like cracking since I'm climbing up?
Yeah, it's explosive sounding. It's almost like a.
I'm just grabbing handful, like whatever I can get my hand in, and cast mending. If it's not necessarily the mast, like the rope itself, just trying to oh fuck, trying
Yeah,
to like this is not supposed to be like that.
So pieces begin kind of starting to twirl themselves back in place, but you can see the crack beginning to expand. You know, like if you've seen a piece of wood cracking slowly, you hear like a.
I'm
DM
just gonna
question.
yell out, "I need a little help here."
What's up, D?
Okay, so I have the spell Thorn Whip. Can I use that to wrap around the mast and sort of like rebind it around that way?
I think you might cause some more damage to the mast.
Okay, never mind.
Is this the same mast that Eladin was on, you said?
Oh yeah.
Eladin, don't you want to cast that floaty thingy and come the fuck down?
Can't
before
hear you.
Oh.
Oh no, Eladin is, upon seeing the half exploded mass, he's going to turn himself into a giant eagle and fly himself to safety.
Wow. What a dick. All right. Eladin poof, burst of feathers.
Well,
Fleos
How far-
continues climbing up the mast, realizing
How-
that while one pit of trouble is gone, several others have shown up, and he's going to yell back down to Lucius, not see Lucius where Lucius is supposed to be, look down and see Lucius, and say, Lucius, I need 250 feet of rope.
All right. In the meantime, I'm gonna run to the very
I'll pass
front
it
of
up
the
to
ship so I can see out what's out there, so someone can tell us if we have to go left and right. And I'm gonna look at the captain. I'm gonna hold my axe and my hammer, and I'm gonna say axe right, hammer left. And I'm just looking at the water, and as I see that we have to turn left or right, I'm just waving my hammer or my axe with my right and my left hand appropriately.
Flag waving.
Awesome.
Cool. Great. Excellent.
Yeah, like, all right.
Ragus, perception check.
I mean, we lost the guy at the top, so. Wait, what's my perception? Is plus.
Yeah, I'm still looking as well.
12. Yeah. So you're looking. Like, oh, it's about it, and then it hits another one of those like drops that happens. Islame, give me another handle check.
Ugh. No, your feet. No, actually, you're good. 22.
Ooh, yeah. So as it's going up, you manage to basically perfectly maneuver it so the ship doesn't tilt or anything like that. No big movements, but another thump goes to the ship. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just riding down, and the mast goes, and the last of the ropes holding it in place burst, and it begins falling.
is anybody so far up the mast that that's like an issue?
Well, Fleos is near the top.
I swoop in and try and catch him, and still in
Fleos
giant
has
mode.
wings, so Fleos can do whatever he wants. Fleos, what are you doing?
Never mind.
Your wings do start
wings-
immediately flapping, just like.
Well, then I guess what happens is I'm still holding on to the ladder, trying to figure out an opportune time
Let go,
to jump
you
to the
fool!
deck, and the wings start prying me off of, because they're obviously extraordinarily powerful. If they lifted a 200-pound person and flew them from an island to a boat, so I like get yanked off of the ladder, and I'm sort of resisting, because normally what I would do in this situation is time it and jump onto the deck, but that's not what's happening now. So I get peeled off by my wings.
Must I save your life? And it brings you back to the deck. Dust all over you. Kind of like. But at the same time, there's still a few ropes, like 2 ropes attached to the mast as it goes down, and it brings the ship teetering and towards the maw, right? And the mast kind of goes into the maw and begins pulling the ship, and the ship is just listing now harder and harder to the side. This on a handle to keep it steady.
I'm going to walk behind her and just, pat her on the back and be like, "You got this. Sindel believes in you," and cast guidance on her. So whatever you roll, add a D4 to it.
Hey, I don't know. That's gonna do much.
What'd you roll?
Alright, that's not so bad. Total is a 16.
Alright, the ship is really listing to the side, but you're managing to keep it. But you don't know how much longer you can hold it, because eventually it's gonna go over the edge. Somebody needs to do something.
Do I see the ropes that are like
Yes,
holding
there are
it?
2 taut ropes.
I'm just gonna fucking cast Shatter, like right at but like where I see like the ropes like extending over to the mast that's setting out. I'm casting Shatter in that area.
This is just a ranged attack.
Yeah, it's not a range attack. It's a 20-foot circle.
Cool, it just
Like
affects
a-
them.
Yeah, I have 60 feet range, 3d thunder damage, and a 10-foot sphere.
Nice, roll for damage.
Um, 11.
Excellent. boards splinter and shatter. The ropes tear asunder. One of the kind of side railings just bursts off into the ocean. And there's a moment as the ship kind of really hard lists to that side. And then the mast just goes free and falls into the maw, spinning end over end. And then the ship goes... and rights itself. All right, last check, Isilme.
Guidance again. Oh, that was good. I believe in you. Cinderella is strong with us.
I'm still waving my weapons frantically.
All right. Ship steadies, and Isilme, with her dexterous hands, guides it through into the tunnel. Now you've entered the calmness of...
As soon as it's calm, Isilme just kind of like drops to the ground.
With Dimitri standing right behind her, like he just fucking freaks out for a second and just grabs the helm and just keeps us steady straight.
Still holding on. I'm just like sitting next to him.
Okay. Haha. Are you okay? You got this. You did good. Take 5. I can keep it straight.
I missed all the ending because I was looking forward towards the water, so I turn around and I see that the boat is pretty much not the same boat. When I started looking forward, I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Because he wants to be able to make an escape in case Fleos decides to hit him.
So all around you is water, and the ship is basically just riding on the bottom of this tunnel, continuing to go as if there were a wind, even though there's no wind. And lights...
And we don't have a mast.
And you don't have a mast.
Yeah.
Lights all around the ship kind of begin to glow because they're magical light sources. And you can just see into the water, and you see fish. And kind of a little further off, you see large shapes moving in the darkness. And you're just underwater in the calm nothingness of the deep ocean.
But do I get to see anything with dark vision, or
Yeah,
just
you
see
can
shape?
you can see more fish than other people.
Okay,
Occasionally, you see a
And they are
tentacle just
big
kind of
fish.
whip by.
gotcha. Do they look delicious?
Some of them do. Some of them look just nefarious and ugly and deformed.
Ah, you.
The amount of fauna in this particular area surrounding this tunnel is unnaturally high. I'm just pointing that out to everyone. Everybody check in every minute.
Da.
Okay.
Sound off.
Dimitri.
I'm here.
Into Ellen.
Samson!
What D&D?
I give a loud belch.
That will do.
Being that I don't have anything to actually do on a ship, I'm just gonna pull out my dulcimer and just casually playing like a light tune for the situation.
Well, remember, you are fatigued.
Yeah, the notes are coming out terribly.
Can Isilme kind of take stock and figure out how bad the damage is, what they're gonna have to do, if like there was any immediate issue?
Yes.
Yeah, Fleos is taking stock of these things, and Fleos is actually probably going to, at some point, 30 seconds into your song, turn around and tell you to go get a certain amount of wood, some hammers, and some nails.
So, Isilme, why don't you give me an advantaged intelligence check with your proficiency?
By the way, when Fleos mentions hammers, I look at him as like,
Wow.
"You asking him for hammers? Come on, I carry like 5 hammers on me at all times."
What was that, Isilme?
12.
12. I mean, this ship looks like it's still seaworthy. I have a dog bothering me. Let's see. We're dealing with a 3-masted vessel. So, you lost 1, but you have another 2. It'll make it once it's out of the tunnel, wherever this tunnel leads you. But You kind of are a little bit uncertain just looking around here. You're probably gonna need to go to below decks and assess if there's any damage whatsoever down there. But she still looks seaworthy.
Okay.
I'm looking for damaged planks, anything that, if we're suddenly deluged or inundated with water, either from a storm or from this tunnel, this magical tunnel collapsing on us, is going to make us less seaworthy or more likely to take on water quickly. And I'd also like to go below decks and just make sure that we're not already taking on water.
All right, so we'll say you take some time and evaluate the ship, the both of you. And there are a couple of spots where a little bit of water is seeping in, but nothing where boards were really badly separated. The deck has taken some damage. You know, there's missing railing section. Obviously, where the mast ripped out, there's a whole bunch of boards that have been warped or pulled up or smashed. So if water were to go over the top, it would get down below. But that's not uncommon in a vessel anyway. So it definitely is still seaworthy. It is minorly damaged beyond the missing mast, obviously.
If there's anything like I would notice that could be mended, I'll just be doing that for the next couple of hours.
Okay. Yeah, you can mend some of the boards and things of that nature.
I fix things as well. Whatever they tell me to fix. It was like, if one thing I can do, I can fix fucking things, especially that made of metal. So if I look for nails and do things.
Yeah, I will, in a quartermasterly fashion, hand out rolls for different parts of the boat, and I'll be all the way down in the bottom of the boat, working my way up, just pasting anything that looks like it's leaking or has become so warped that, you know, it's not fitting together in a jointed normal fashion, you know. And I'm gonna be the one that's actually down there, just because I know that I can swim, and I know that if worse comes to worse and everything explodes and starts to drown me, I can turn into something that breathes water.
All right. Flius, as you're going about this, you keep feeling like this nagging sensation at the back of your skull. And finally you hear, Flius! Why aren't you paying attention to me?
Well, so far you haven't told us anything useful or guided us. I believe we had a conversation about how you're not a sailor, and we're still in the maritime section of our journey. So, unless you've suddenly become a sailor,
No.
I don't imagine you have much to tell me.
That's not the case. What I need from you is... we must gather everybody together and I must tell them where we are going because we need to make preparations.
Isn't where we're going 2 days away? Surely
Yes.
we can spend 4 hours making sure that we actually get there floating.
But you have some problems.
Oh, you've been in my head for a while so far, so I'm sure you're aware of that, yes.
Not those problems. I mean, some of those you should really get checked out. But these problems in particular have to do with the fact that you're a human.
Yes. No, I'm aware of that problem.
No,
Yes.
You don't understand where you are going. There are no humans.
Why, is everyone dead?
No.
We're going someplace with a beholder. I wouldn't imagine it's very friendly to any of us.
Don't understand. You are going to a city.
And they don't like humans in the city.
Leos
I'm okay with that.
Leos will angrily and with a audible sigh of disgust put down his brush of paste and tar, and he will say, "Fine," and he will start to climb the decks back up to the top deck, and he will say, "Gather around, everyone. Uncle Samson would like to tell us a story. Hurry it up, Butterfly."
That's good. Yes. I wouldn't consider myself much of a storyteller, but it's important you understand what we're getting into because I would like to survive. I don't know about the rest of you. Yes, this is good. Nodding of the head.
Is overrated.
Please
I want to
continue.
Right,
Just
well,
make it quick, Samson.
we are going to the city of Umfir. It's what's at the middle of the storm. That is where the wizard's tower is. It's a great and vast city. And yes, it once was home to elves and dwarves and humans and creatures of all types. But what you must understand is, since the shards were shattered, since they became fractured, the realm stone, when it was broken, there are no longer any humans here. There may be a few elves, but they will not look like regular elves. There certainly will be no dwarves. Maybe some Azers. So we must figure out a way to properly conceal ourselves amongst the populace. You cannot just simply walk up to the wizard's tower. It's surrounded by this great city.
I point at Eladin and I point at Lucius, and I say, "Ideas, gentlemen."
So what should we look like? Would I look okay?
Well, the only one who looks appropriate here are, well, I guess the dwarf does have the protrusion. This one that I'm wonderfully attached to now looks exactly the part and will not have to wear any type of disguise. Ha! And the wings kind of...
Because we need to look devilish.
Well, you just need to not look normal, if you will, if you catch my drift. I guess...
I mean, I'm just straight up pointing at the fucking big
Yes.
black stone sticking out of our heads.
Yes, that's not terribly bad. You look like a human with, thing.
Not at my head.
So that's not so bad. And
I also have the big magic eye and a big massive scar across my face.
and the rest of you might want to show off things that make you... Well, he doesn't have any hands to gesture. You might want to show off those things that make you less than human.
What about these things right here? I'm pretty sure I'm set.
Yes, but just remember, the more you can look unique, the better it will be.
Disguise self
What's that?
and turn. Eladin casts disguise self on himself. Gives himself some nice multicolor skin, some horns, maybe a couple shoulder thorn things. Make himself look like something out of a fairy tale.
Yes, that'll do. Perfect. More like that, please.
All right, I'm good. And I sit down and lay down in this kind of semi-grotesque form.
Now, mind you, your beard does not change at all.
I didn't intend it to. That was perfect.
Strange. Strange.
For the rest of you, I do have a nice disguise kit. I'd be happy to do you up nicely.
Yeah, if I can borrow that, I think I'll throw a little bit of color on me and throw a fake tail in.
I mean, I'm pretty protective over it. I would be happy to help you, though.
Oh, I'm pretty good. I usually use them for my performances. I'm just lacking one at the moment.
But I guess you have proved your worth. And I hand over my disguise kit to let Lucius use.
I'm going to take a little bit of blue pigment because that one lasts the longest, and quickly give all my exposed skin a color, and then take a large thing of parchment and wrap it in leather and kind of pass it off as a tail. Pretty much just trying to spin myself as a tiefling.
Felios goes back downstairs to finish fixing the boat.
I'm gonna go to Lucius and see if I can take some of the makeup or whatever's in the disguise kit, because I don't have many options. So I'll just take off my bandana so that way you can actually see my ears, and try to make myself look more badass piratey, black makeup, scar stuff like that. That's kind of all I can do.
Yar?
I'm not magic.
I'm gonna grab a piece of cloth and polish my horn. That's
And
not
Dimitri just goes back to fixing the boat.
I'm gonna go polish my horn. Okay, that's good. All right, well, you have time, so what would you all be like to do during this time on the ship?
I want to work with Fleos on hopefully mending whatever we can.
That sounds good.
Anybody needs long rests at all?
I definitely need a rest. I'm hurting here.
100%.
Because I'm not. So go rest up. I'll do some fixing things around.
All right, so you'll take. You can take the time to rest. Obviously, take the time to mend the ship. No problems.
Before I go for my rest, like I'm gonna go offline to rest. I'm going to still trying to figure out what is encompassing with these horns, and try to communicate with the entity that is now imbibing me with this power that I never had.
Okay, you can spend some time doing that.
At some point, I offer everybody, fellas. I know I don't have a forge here or anything like that, but if anybody wants to sharpen their weapons, and maybe I can take them a look and make sure they're nice and ready to go, because I'm sure we're gonna have to kill things like we always end up doing. So offer my smith services to clean and sharpen weapons with a whetstone. Old school.
About how much time do we have?
2 days travel.
All right, I
Okay.
want to make a spell scroll.
Sounds good to me.
I need to figure out how that works in
Yes.
this game.
Yes, you do.
Just look up the. Have the link.
So, Dimitri, what are you gonna do?
The highest level spelling.
I had this written down of what I wanted to do if we ever got downtime on the boat, and I fucking have no idea where I put that paper, and I can't remember anything.
2 personal. Well, 50 gold.
Knowing you,
I
you're probably
imagine-
reading some books. That's all you do.
Yeah, well, I would definitely be reading some of the spell books that I've come across, and anything that like I am finished with, I would pass along to Eladin.
Oh yeah, I would be totally interested in that.
Yeah, I mean, any of those pursuits and interests really do sort of take like a mental backseat to whatever we can be doing to better prepare ourselves for that. I suppose if we have time for better, story time from the tattoo, I would be inquiring more about what are we really fucking getting into.
Okay, we can roleplay that. Let's just go
Sure.
through and see what else, if anybody else is doing any significant things. But I'm very happy to roleplay that so that you can actively ask questions. Fleos, you're just assessing the ship and doing repairs, or
I'm assessing the ship. I'm doing repairs. Some evening, while I'm, sitting up in. Oh, there is no more crow's nest. Some evening, while I'm sitting at the prow of the boat, glaring at a mental image of Eladin, I'm going to take the time to attune to the dragon scale armor instead of the Yalithian studded leather. Well, actually, does he tell us like he said that there were Azers there? Yes.
yes?
And he does not mention any undead.
No, he does not mention any. You mean you could directly ask him right now?
Okay. Well, yes, I am going to directly ask him right now, but I thought he might have done it during a follow-up story time.
Oh, no, there's
Samson,
no undead.
are there any undead in this city?
Oh, that don't be absurd. Why would undead be kept in a city? I mean, there might be some in the graveyards, I guess.
And
Walking the streets, don't be absurd.
well, when was the last time you were there? Undead, in my experience, have a tendency to multiply.
Very recently, about 50, 60 years ago.
Ah, fantastic. And yes, what about creatures with a strong affinity for fire?
Yes, there certainly will be those.
Fantastic.
Orcs?
I appreciate your questions.
All right. Isilme, what are you up to?
That elf. Okay, go ahead.
Mainly trying to mend any damage with Leos. Trying to figure out ways to make myself look less half elvish and more weird, I guess. If there are any other like captain's log style books, I could go through those. But I think last time all I found was like a general log that made it sound like the ship was really, really old.
Yes.
If I remember that correctly. That was kind of it. So
Okay. Eladin?
I don't have much.
I spend one day making a spell scroll for Disguise Self, and I give that over to Lucius. And then the other day, I spend trying to figure out the lantern that we got from the old man.
Oh. So, real quickly, what the lantern allows you to do is when it's lit, it doesn't cast like a regular yellow light. It casts a pale blue light, which gives you very little illumination. But anything it illuminates, you notice, like, for example, because you've been playing around with your disguises, when it illuminates you, you no longer have your disguise on.
Cool. In that discovery, I call somebody over and I cast greater invisibility on them and see if I can see them with the lantern.
Yeah, you see, like, this haziness where they are.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Lucius, did I already ask you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to commune to whatever, like try to figure out what these horns actually entail and commune to whoever is giving me these extra powers that I'm unsure about.
Excellent. Ragus?
I'm just cleaning and sharpening weapons and wondering what the hell is going on. I mean, because my horn is just making me angry all the time, so I'm basically just pouting in a corner, concentrating on my craft.
Excellent. Okay. So we'll have some Uncle Samson time, and then we'll get to our city destination. So, okay. So any questions you want to ask of Samson before we arrive?
How's it like to be a butterfly?
It's not so bad, actually, once you get used to it. It's pretty enjoyable. You suck on nectar. fly
Aren't
around
you
freely.
constantly scared you're gonna hit a spider web and get eaten up?
Huh. What makes you think I don't eat the spiders?
I've seen you.
Huh.
Ever seen the
Cleos from
picture?
several feet away says, "Your lack of Chaliceray," and then just turns away again.
What was that, Islane?
Just wondering if anyone's ever seen the animated movie The Last Unicorn. 'Cause there's a butterfly in it, and that's what I'm picturing Samson as.
Nice. Very
Goggles
nice.
Accurate.
I love it.
and a scarf.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I imagine I would be asking him about like what he was like before he was a butterfly, and like the culture and traditions and things that he came from. Obviously, he was an elf, but an elf from how long ago? What was their city and civilization like?
It was peaceful. I'm not going to use his voice because I'm just going to give you a general summary. It was peaceful, and the elves of these islands, these were actually floating islands. The magic that ripped apart the realm stone did not affect these islands. They were floating before, but the maws, the gaping maw beneath them wasn't there. It was just smooth ocean beneath them. And they had beautiful, delicate flying ships that they would traverse the oceans with and perform all sorts of trades. And the big thing for them was that they were like the primary trading empire. They facilitated trade amongst everybody else because they had their flying vessels. and their big issue was that they also were the ones who delivered the weapons that were used for the original overthrowing of the wizard before the wizard came back with a vengeance. Because if you recall, there was an assassination attempt against the wizard, and that's kind of partially why he went and took the Realm Stone, which is what kept this area kind of calm and peaceful in terms of the storm, and shattered it. And upon shattering it, that is when the perpetual storm was created. And this kind of area has kind of like warped in and out of time, you know, for centuries before the Devastations, what we'd call the Devastations, which is when it kind of became a slumbering island, or a slumbering region, and no longer part of the plane of existence. Remember, we talked about how we felt like maybe this hadn't existed on the same plane that you all had been in, and had been its own separate thing. And he kind of confirms this.
Alright.
I asked about the queen. Like, what was her role in this? Like, obviously she's the queen, but did she have sort of divine right, or like what made her the leader?
Well, she was the queen of just those elves.
Sure.
Each one of the realms had its own king or queen, or king and queen. And she'd ruled for hundreds and hundreds of years.
She wasn't like all powerful or anything like that.
No, she was a powerful wizard beforehand, though. A powerful sorceress.
Okay. And then, do you know anything of spirits?
What was that? You broke up.
Do you know anything of spirits? Like that would like cohabitate within a single body.
Why, yes, of course I do. As a creature that likes to cohabitate bodies. Are you asking about your beard?
I wasn't actually. It's kind of about the other thing. What happened when we first got to this realm?
Oh. You're asking about that one.
Yeah.
I would be careful what questions you ask. I see a dark aura around you. I can see him. He stands right next to you.
Is he cute?
I think creatures of darkness are hard to tell if they're cute or not.
Okay, better.
Would it depend on your aesthetic?
Is the creature evil?
I think these things are relative. What does evil mean? No, I don't think he's evil per se. More like chaos-inducing.
Chaos I can ride with. That's cool. Okay. Thanks. That's good enough.
Creature of turbulence.
That falls in line with wizard and sorcerer. I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's it. I don't want to ask too many questions. And I resigned to contemplate that.
All right. Anything else before we things?
I have a random question.
Yes, please.
The locator cards that Sophia had.
Yeah.
Right, and I gave Eladin's to his friends from the university. What happened to Solbia's card?
Did we do something with it, or look at it, or something, or did it? I forget. Did it disintegrate? What happened? Does anyone remember? We definitely did something.
I don't remember a thing happening.
Did we send it off in the funeral?
Yeah,
No.
probably burial at sea or something.
If the card is gone or disappeared, something like that.
I think we buried it, or at sea.
I
Maybe.
didn't do with it.
No, then it would be still part of the deck.
Okay, and if I look at it, is there anything different about that one versus the other ones?
No, but you don't get you holding it. You don't get the sense of anything.
Okay. And then if I hold up Gus's, is it the same thing?
You can feel where Gus is. Oh, sorry, Gus. Ah, sorry. I thought my brain immediately translated Gus to Lucius. Yeah, yes. So if you have, I forgot how many characters have I killed here? Yeah, Gus, you feel the same way. You don't feel anything.
Okay, because if somebody never
Plot
actually
twist.
saw Gus die, so that's like a question for her
Oh. Yeah,
And it's-
Gus be dead.
on the ship.
Gus's head was kind of cut off.
Right, but she doesn't or didn't know that.
Okay.
So cool. At some point, she's just gonna like throw Sylvia and Gus's cards overboard.
Well, if you spend some time with them, I'm assuming you're spending some time, not just like looking at them real quick.
Yeah.
You get the sense that maybe with a little bit of focus, you could change them to be your existing party members. Well, an existing party member who's replaced one of the party members.
Okay.
What's funny is you look at Fleosis, and it just shows a giant butterfly.
I'm picturing these as like the Harry Potter playing cards at this point.
And Elodin's like now has like this massive overgrown beard kind of curling everywhere. Tentacular.
I had forgotten about this entirely.
Dimitri's
Same.
Dimitri's the only thing you don't like. You look at Dimitri's and his face is all sallow and like his skin is pale. And Ragus just is like he's shirtless and on fire. Yes.
Ragus, when did you pose for this picture?
Must have been a hot day in the
In the forge.
in the forge.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Good likeness.
All right. After about 2 days of travel, the tunnel starts going up, and you feel the ship ascending.
Woohoo! We're getting close, guys.
It's a gentle ascent.
Have we figured out how it does this, or it just sort of goes on autopilot?
It's kind of like there's a current that you can't see that's carrying you along.
Gotcha.
And you basically pop up like a submarine emerging from the water. And it is night. Stars are out. Cascading field of stars everywhere. No moon in sight. Just endless sea of stars above and just a calm ocean below. And on the horizon, you see thousands and thousands of lights on what must be a very large island. And a tower juts up all the way hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet into the sky, crusted with lights. And you see buildings of all different shapes, sizes, and colors, and many ships as well, coming into a very well lit port. And it looks extremely busy. And you have just found the city of Umfir.
Cool.
Before we dock, I make sure that I am fully disguised self in my. I've like progressively been asking Samson, like, is this better? Is this better? Is this better? Is this? And I think I've come up with a beautiful disguise that would fit right in.
Excellent. All right, let me see some things. 1, 2, 3.
I want to ask Samson if do you know about any other hidden cities or just this one?
There are many cities that I know of, and some of them are hidden, some of them are not. So yes, I know of many.
Are all of them in this realm, or have you ventured outside of these islands?
Oh no. 1,000 years ago, I was outside these islands. Now, whether they are still there or not, I could not say, but I remember them for their time. Are you interested in where you got those? And there's no pointing or gesturing, so you don't know what he means, or you do know what he means, but...
Have you been to a disappearing city?
I think I know the one you're talking of. So that's where we're ending the session.
Makes sense.
Oh boy.
Ragus, you leveled up.
Yay!
Good job, Ragus.
Good job.
Hooray.
All right, for those off in TV land, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of The Devastations.